Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome back, everyone. Today, we are putting a highly visible B2B branding service right under the microscope. We're conducting an independent analyst brief evaluating the Fiverr Pro offering by Thomas Edward. You might know him by his handle, Newbold3D. So if you're a business owner, an agency director, or a corporate decision maker looking to outsource your brand identity, well, this explainer is designed specifically for you. We're going to strip away all that marketing fluff and look purely at the hard data, the actual deliverables, and the verifiable track record to see if this service truly holds up to scrutiny. Let's get into it. To keep things objective, this agenda will guide us straight through the data-anchored findings. First up, overview and core offerings. Second, features and potential ROI. Third, transparency and credibility metrics. Fourth, risks, limitations, and alternatives. And we'll wrap it all up with Section 5, the final assessment. Kicking things off with Section 1, overview and core offerings. We need to know, what exactly are we getting here, and at what cost? To really anchor our analysis, let's look at the numbers for their primary package. For a flat price point of $445, their professional logo design tier promises a completely realized logo system, and the turnaround? A really rapid 5-day delivery. For that investment, you're getting 2 initial concepts, full vector and source files, a 3D mockup, a social media kit, stationery designs, and, this is a big one, a promise of unlimited revisions. Honestly, as an analyst, seeing this volume of very specific deliverables tied to a fixed, transparent price point, it's a remarkably strong indicator of a highly systemized service. Now, who is this actually built for? Well, according to the seller's documentation, these packages are explicitly engineered to support businesses at literally every stage of growth. We're talking everyone from DIY solopreneurs who just need a professional launch, all the way up to established, growing businesses. The core value proposition here is delivering brand identity systems that give you clarity, consistency, and confidence. Moving right along to Section 2, features and potential ROI. Let's move to and see how this builds, and exactly how this provider's methodology actually translates to real growth. So, the provider doesn't just promise to hand you a graphic and walk away. They actually outline a proprietary workflow they call the S.I.S. framework. That stands for strategy, leading to identity, which leads to system. It's a highly structured branding process. The seller states this ensures a brand isn't just beautifully designed, but built with true clarity and consistency. From an operations standpoint, this tells us the deliverable isn't just some random visual. It's a cohesive brand built to scale right alongside your websites, your marketing, and your long-term business goals. Now, as an independent analyst, I've got to point out what isn't there just as much as what is. When evaluating B2B services, decision makers are always looking for the return on investment. So I need to be upfront and explicitly state that exact quantifiable financial ROI, things like specific percentage bumps in conversion rates or direct revenue attribution post-rebrand, is simply not disclosed in the source material. We prioritize total transparency here, and that hard financial data just isn't provided. However, while we don't have the hard financial numbers, the source material does give us some highly verifiable qualitative outcomes. A prime example is their case study for S.I.S restaurant and hotel over in Lithuania. The seller executed a top-to-bottom rebrand using this stunning palette of golds and blacks and a logo that actually incorporates local architecture, all to reposition the restaurant for a fine dining crowd. And get this, following this strategic rebrand, and obviously the hard work of the restaurant's incredible team, S.I.S was actually awarded a Michelin Guide Award in 2024. That is a massive, real-world indicator of the potential impact of this seller's strategic design work. Let's jump into Section 3, transparency and credibility metrics. Because anyone can make bold claims online, right? Let's quantify that trust using the platform's provided metrics. Just take a look at this number for a second. 14,553. That is the total number of verified platform reviews Thomas Edward has racked up since joining back in August 2011. In the world of outsourced professional services, that is an absolute mountain of a trust signal. It points to a highly battle-tested, incredibly resilient operational workflow that can clearly handle immense volume over more than a decade. And zooming in on the specific service we're auditing today, the data is equally striking. Across 2,417 reviews for this exact branding gig, the seller maintains a perfect 5.0 rating. Plus, the platform specifically tags this gig, noting that people keep coming back, which is a huge indicator of repeat buyers. For any corporate risk assessment, maintaining a sustained 5.0 rating across thousands of transactions is a critical data point you simply can't ignore. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how all these individual trust signals combine to form a very secure buyer environment. We're talking 15 plus years of experience. We've got the top-rated Fiverr Pro status. And crucially, this comes with the Fiverr Pro satisfaction guarantee, meaning if a client isn't satisfied, the platform promises a refund. We also know the seller is UK-based, operating Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. GMT. Oh, and the portfolio? It includes verified work for high-profile clients like Mola Dental and even Fiverr themselves. Let's look at some qualitative evidence to back up all those quantitative ratings we just reviewed. A verified buyer named Gorishko from the United States said, and I quote, "Thomas did an exceptional job on our logo. He took the time to understand our brand positioning and delivered a design that feels timeless, elevated, and intentional." End quote. Feedback exactly like that directly aligns with the seller's promise of offering strategy-led design, rather than just throwing together some quick, thoughtless graphics. But hey, no business service is completely flawless, so let's pivot to Section 4, Risks, Limitations, and Alternatives. As an objective analyst, we absolutely have to weigh these features against operational reality. It is vital to accurately position this service within the broader market. What we're doing here is comparing a platform freelancer model against a traditional branding agency model. With this Fiverr Pro gig, you're getting fixed $445 packages, largely asynchronous remote communication, and those strict, rapid 5-day timelines. A traditional branding agency, on the other hand, relies on custom, high-ticket pricing, synchronous face-to-face or Zoom meetings, and extended multi-week strategic timelines. This service is basically a highly productized alternative. It's fantastic for speed and cost control, but you really have to be comfortable with a platform-based workflow. I did notice a bit of an operational paradox here. While the package promises unlimited revisions, the exact boundaries of how that actually works within a strict 5-day delivery window aren't fully disclosed. Endless revisions mathematically conflict with a hard 5-day deadline, right? So that implies some unstated fair use limits must exist. Also, those strict office hours, Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. GMT, could definitely introduce some communication bottlenecks for international buyers operating in totally different time zones like the US West Coast or Australia. So the crucial point is, where does all this verified data actually leave us? Let's get into Section 5, the final assessment. Here is our balanced executive summary. Look, the strengths of this service are absolutely formidable. You've got highly verified credibility with over 14,000 positive reviews, a really clear and logical S.I.S. framework driving the design, a rapid 5-day turnaround, and that financially backed satisfaction guarantee. But the weaknesses? Well, there's a lack of disclosed financial ROI data, you've got the risk of potential communication delays if you're operating outside of UK business hours, and that platform-based asynchronous workflow just might not be the best fit for enterprise clients who demand constant real-time collaboration. Ultimately, outsourcing your brand identity is a major strategic operational choice. The data shows this is a highly credible, systemized service for solopreneurs and growing businesses seeking professional design at a fixed cost. So I'm going to leave you with this final question to consider for your own organization. Does this specific service scale? And does this asynchronous framework actually align with your current operational bottleneck? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I really hope this data helps you make an informed business decision. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.